Oh man, happy Monday. Voice is a little raspy right now. Got some Monday allergies going. But as for what is not a little raspy is a bunch of green. We see a lot of green. Not to mention we just hit 40 subscribers as well. Thank you so much if you have recently subscribed here. Not really sure where this journey is going to take me. Not my first time here on YouTube. I have ran various other YouTube channels before, but not really quite sure how big this YouTube channel is going to go. But we are on a straight up mission. And our mission is very simple. We're going to be making some money. Oh, yes. 2025 is still rock and rolling with great opportunities, along with 2026 is going to be probably a very rocky year as well. Going to be great buying opportunities because there's always great buying opportunities in the market. Regardless if the market is in a bullish uptrend, there's always stocks that are beaten down you can take advantage of. Or if the market is completely selling off, wonderful buying opportunities. So the big question on a lot of people's minds right now, including myself, is this a artificial Monday green day? Friday, we ended up having a pretty, I don't really want to say decent recovery. It was a mild recovery. We ended up mild recovery in a lot of these stocks. Primarily the chip sector is being hit right now. And if you all did not see the past couple videos of mine, I am doing a public profile challenge. The other $5,000 I just transferred over the weekend actually did hit this account. So, little under 11K cash left to pretty much deploy into the market during this tech pullback. And position sizes going to be going over here in a moment, a couple minutes. Going to try to keep this video relatively short, under 20 minutes. I appreciate your all time. I really do. And want to kind of really get to the main points relatively quick here. But before we get into the public account, pretty much we gotta see if this is I don't really want to say this, a dead cat bounce, because the market is going through a tricky phase right now because of fears. We have the Federal Reserve behind us. We have a president that cares more about the stock market, probably more about than his health. He probably does. Eating fast food or caring about the stock market. He cares more about the stock market. Plus, midterms are coming up next year. Liberation Day was a well-orchestrated event. Can we have another Liberation Day? Probably. I mean, anything is possible. But would it be good? No, it would actually be really bad. Are we in a semi-correction right now? We really are. I mean, right now we're down just about 4% from all-time highs on the SPY, but we ended up touching last week 5%. So we could very well get to the 200, which is a solid correction at 10%, which means we got to go significantly lower. This could just be a significant bounce, kind of like we pretty much always see whenever we have corrections. Typically a very big downward, upward, and then boom, another big bounce down, and then we create the V-shaped recovery. So this could very well be a fake out. We really don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Anything is possible here. But as for stocks, they're somewhat doing recoveries. I mean, SoFi is up near 5%, which is phenomenal. Palantir is making a solid recovery. Although Palantir freaked out a lot of people last week because we got really close to the 200-day moving average. Robinhood, this was kind of really expected for a lot of people because a lot of people said Robinhood ran up in the last year by like 500%, very much more than SoFi. I am a technical trader. I do use technical analysis. I believe in technical analysis because in order to make great investments, you need to know moving averages, and they can also save you a lot of money as well. Um, but Robinhood overall, if there's something wrong with the economy, the stock is going to feel it. The company is going to feel it. Is there something wrong with the economy, or are we just in a fearful market? My personal belief is maybe a little bit of both, but nothing like 2022, since the Fed is once again going to be easing up on monetary policy, which means they're going to be printing more money, and printing more money means more money in the stock market. Meta. So Meta is actually let me go to Honest Company really quickly. Honest Company is my risk on asset. I'm probably not going to add any more shares to Honest Company here on this account. I basically have a pretty confident position size here, and if Honest Company does recover by 50%, so I end up making a quick five, six, seven, $800 from Honest, I'll probably end up selling this entire position. Not really looking to hold them long term. They are going through a transformation period right now on their balance sheet. They're getting rid of items that are not doing so well, and they're positioning themselves to a better sector. So, I mean, hey, if you believe in Honest for the long term, it could. But I feel like Honest is a risk-on play on this profile. You can argue saying my entire profile is risk-on. I beg to differ, and I'll argue against that. But Honest is really the one position here that I have like risk in. Obviously, you don't have options, so I can't really say those are pretty much risk. Meta. Talked about this one. I'm pretty much done buying Meta on this account. I have a solid amount of Meta. Although, I mean, I could throw $10,000 in Meta and it would be a phenomenal investment. Meta has been beaten down because of a spending, not a spending issue. They're just spending more money than they're generating, but they're investing money for the future. Next year is midterms, and this is what a lot of people forget. Where do politicians advertise their crapola? Facebook. Like, you can't run a political campaign anymore on television. The telly is over. Meta is going to be getting a tremendous amount of more money next year, probably around maybe Q2. So around beginning of Q3, when they release Q2 earnings, we're going to see that money pour in. And by the end of the year, so when the midterms are over, actually early 2027 when they report, we're going to be looking. When do they normally report in January? January, oh wow, they report at the end of January. If they report at the end of January, we're going to see a massive revenue increase. So Meta, I got pretty much a lot of shares, pretty decent position size. The stocks that I honestly really should be more aggressive in. I actually did buy one share this morning here on the public account. And for anyone that does not know, I am a raging SoFi bull. On my private profile, I have a tremendous amount of SoFi. Actually, I lied. I actually have... Hold on one second. Something is messed up. Why does Webull do this? Oh, man. I kind of really wish Webull was like Robinhood in a way. Even though Webull is a phenomenal for day trading, I will say that. But it's definitely not like the easy aspect of like just buying stocks, kind of like Robinhood in a way. Okay, so I did buy some stocks here this morning. Kind of really forgot. It was an early morning for me. Been up super early since like 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now it's 09:46 a.m. My $5,000 cash did hit, so like you said, I still have close to 11 grand to deploy into the market here. I did buy a Palantir share. Robinhood bought AMD share here this morning as well too. One good thing about Webull that I really love is that I can buy before 7 a.m. Robinhood, I don't understand why. You know, years ago when I got into the market during Rona 2020, Robinhood didn't even let you buy like before 9 a.m. I believe. Back then I was really not a trader. I was more so a investor. Now I'm actually a fluent trader. But pre-market, obviously very different, or I should say pre-market, before 7 a.m., obviously very, very different in the market here, a lot less green. But I would really like to go ahead and get so let me talk about SoFi really quickly. If SoFi drops below $25 again, it's just really a watch. On my Robinhood account, I own 1642 shares of SoFi. That's like almost $44,000 right now. I'm swimming in SoFi shares. Palantir, I got to really make a decision here and really watch what happens today. I need to increase a Palantir position on this profile to about $4,500. Not 4,500 shares, $4,500. So I need to buy about almost $1,800 more worth of shares. Robinhood, I need to buy at least $1,800 more shares. AMD, I'm good here on AMD. I own a lot of AMD shares on my Robinhood account as well. I'm an AMD bull. Lisa Su is a baller. She's taking AMD to massive new levels next year. This coming year. Meta, I'm good with. If Meta drops below, honestly, if Meta falls even lower, maybe I'll pick up another share. Honest is just really a hold as a risk on. If I see Honest, if I am still holding Honest into their next earnings, and if their CEO, oh boy, what's her name? Another really, really good female CEO. Can't remember the name. Carla something. Ooh, boy. If they experience a little bit of a pullback, but they give the same type of a guidance like SoFi did in 2024 when I started buying SoFi. SoFi in early 24 went through a transformation period, which is why I started buying it, because I saw the future. If Honest Company were to kind of really dip lower even more, maybe throw some money at it a little bit to dollar cost average, but as soon as it gets a big pop, because the stock was up to $8, the stock had a massive, massive run. Yeah, so the stock ended up popping after earnings because they had their revenue growth just increasing massively. They went from $4 all the way up to $8, so about a double up. If Honest Company were to double up to the $5, I'd just, take my profits, move on to the next. Where would I deploy that money? AMD is just, it's still undervalued. And this is where, for me personally, it's like, hey, if hypothetically, if I wanted to turn my cash of $10,600 into 40 grand over the course of the next 3-5 years, AMD is the one to do it. I'm looking to do a $100,000 account challenge here. Take this account to 6 figures in the course of a year, maybe year and a half. Is it possible? Oh yeah, it's definitely possible. Especially if I deploy this money into more because this is also a really big thing too. We are entering into a year different than 2022. 2022, these companies' growth rates were slowing down. These companies' growth rates are accelerating. AMD is accelerating. SoFi is accelerating. Palantir is still growing. So with that notion, what do you really do? Well, sometimes, and I said this last week, when the market was a little green, hard to say the market was a little green, but I believe I said this Wednesday of last week. Sometimes the best investment is no investment, and just be patient. We could very well recover just straight from here. And I mean, hey, if we recover straight from here, I'm going to make money because I own Palantir down here, and then Palantir is going to be up in the 200. I'm going to make money. If I see over the next course, the next couple weeks, that we kind of do a slow recovery up, I'll be nibbling on in every single day. Every single day I'm going to nibble on in. But I'm not going to do massive buys like I did last week. Last week I did massive buys, especially on Thursday. It was a big buying day. I was deploying a lot of capital. I was also pulling over like $10,000 of cash because I went through about 15 grand relatively quickly. So big buying day on Friday as well. Now I picked up some shares in the pre-market. Obviously the pre-market was really lower. Bitcoin is having some trouble. Bitcoin made it up to 87 and pretty much got pushed down. On the day, we could very well close with a red candle, which is bearish. If you are unfamiliar with candlesticks, really simple. When you see a red candlestick, this is called a wick. It looks like a gigantic, stem. People also call it stems. That's what the stock ended up going to. But today, Bitcoin started in the 80, was it almost 87? So it opened with 86, pushed all the way up to 87. We got pushed all the way down now to 85. That's weakness. That really is weakness. My honest prediction is that I see a lot of people selling this nice little green day. Tuesday, tomorrow, we do have data coming out. So it's going to be a big day for the market. CPI is coming out tomorrow. I'll make a new video about that. PPI as well, too. And then Wednesday, we have initialist jobless claims. I believe Wednesday is a full day. And then Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving for those of you that celebrate it. And then Friday, I believe, is a half day. Yep. So, and then we are in a very choppy week. And then next week we got 1 week before Fed week. Things are going to be really, really sporadic here. But my game plan is that I'm just really going to be watching. If the market pulls back on all this green today, I'll start nibbling on in with a couple buys here and there. Now, last thing before I wrap up this video, and if you do enjoy this, please drop a like. Let me know in a comment as well too. Why don't I just go ahead and just dump money into a position, kind of like a long-term investor? Well, I'm not looking to be a long-term investor in Palantir. Sorry. I've been in and out of Palantir now like 4 or 5 times. I should have held when I was buying Palantir years ago in the teens. Was buying in the 14, 15, 16, sold in the high 20s. Should have held on, but I'm a long-term investor in SoFi. AMD, yes. Palantir is going to be a trade until their growth rate, something happens. And right now, their growth rates are just still going up. If I were to throw $2 more grand into Palantir right now, and let's say Palantir recovers by 25% to all-time highs, I make money. So why don't I do that? Because, in my opinion, it's better to throw $500 at Palantir, let's say right now, for me. And if Palantir dips lower, I'll throw maybe $700 Palantir dips lower, I throw more. I'm a trader. That's me personally. And there are some stocks that you do or should really trade, in my opinion. SoFi is not one that I'm willing to trade. I really see the vision. Palantir, I see the vision too, but there's going to be a time where Palantir is no longer going to be a growth company. It's going to be a value company. And with that said, there might be a significant pullback. I'm really looking on the bull case of Palantir that we could very well hit $300 by 2000 and the end of 2026. Is it possible? Yeah, if they keep executing. Oh, absolutely. Robinhood 2 is another one. This has been beaten down, but Robinhood has really not had a massive pullback anytime soon, so it's really hard. But as you see right now, we are fighting, which means people are really selling. People are getting out. So for me today, I'm pretty much just going to be watching. If I'm going to be doing any more buying, it's probably going to be relatively later in the afternoon, maybe even after market is closed. And we just really have to see. Otherwise, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Tomorrow is going to be interesting with CPI. And take it easy. Later.